Imagine standing in your own backyard on a bright morning, feeling the warmth of the sun on your face, looking down at your garden, or watching your grandchildren race across the lawn, but instead of taking that step forward to join them, you hesitate because your knees feel stiff, your energy feels low, or a quiet voice inside asks if your body can still handle it. For millions of Americans over 60, this subtle feeling of losing grip on daily independence is a silent shadow that creeps in, often hidden behind the comforting myth that aging automatically means a steady decline into fatigue, pain, and reliance on expensive prescriptions. But the truth, backed by modern gerontology, is radically different. Your body does not possess an internal clock that suddenly decides to run down, rather, it responds continuously to the small signals you send it every single day. Today, you will discover 6 simple, scientifically proven micro-habits that cost nothing, take only a few minutes, and can fundamentally transform how you feel, move, and think, including one counterintuitive evening routine near the end of our time together that scientists now call the single most overlooked key to long-term mental sharpness. Let us begin by taking a close look at what happens inside your body when you wake up each morning. Think of your physical body much like a finely tuned American classic car that has been parked in the garage overnight. When a car sits in the cold for 8 hours, the engine oil settles at the bottom, the moving parts become stiff, and if you simply turn the key and stomp on the gas pedal immediately, you place unnecessary strain on the entire system. Yet, every morning, millions of retirees jump right out of bed, march straight to the kitchen to pour a hot cup of black coffee, and wonder why their joints ache or why they feel a sudden wave of dizziness. During the night, while you sleep, your body loses nearly a full pint of water just through breathing and natural perspiration. Your blood becomes slightly thicker, much like oil in a cold engine, forcing your heart to work significantly harder to pump it through your vessels. At the same time, your spinal discs, which act as tiny shock absorbers between your vertebrae, decompress and absorb fluid while you lie flat, making your back temporarily stiff and vulnerable to strain if you bend over too quickly to pick up the morning paper or feed the cat. The solution is not an exhausting morning workout or an expensive supplement from the pharmacy down the street. It is a simple habit you can practice before your feet even touch the carpet. Before getting out of bed, spend just 60 seconds performing what gerontologists call gentle neural waking. While still lying flat on your back, slowly point your toes away from you, then flex them back toward your shins 5 times. Gently rotate your ankles in small, smooth circles. Then, sit on the edge of your mattress for 30 seconds and drink a glass of plain room temperature water that you left on your nightstand the evening before. This small ritual acts like idling your engine and letting the oil warm up before putting the car into drive. The gentle ankle movements activate the muscle pumps in your calves, which smoothly sends blood back up toward your heart and brain, preventing that sudden lightheaded feeling when you stand. Meanwhile, the glass of water immediately hydrates your circulatory system, thinning your blood back to its ideal fluid state, lubricating your digestive tract, and giving your kidneys the fluid they need to clear out overnight metabolic waste. By taking just 2 minutes to warm up your system gently, you protect your heart, safeguard your lower back, and set a smooth, steady tone for the entire morning. Now, as you step out into your day, perhaps heading to the local supermarket, working in the garden, or driving down to the community center, you might notice another common challenge that subtly steals away daily comfort: the slow, creeping loss of physical balance and steady footing. Many people believe that losing your balance as the years go by is simply an unavoidable part of getting older, but in reality, balance is not an automatic trait you either have or lose. Balance is an active conversation between 3 distinct systems in your body: your eyes, the tiny balance sensors deep inside your inner ear, and thousands of specialized nerve endings located in your feet and ankles known as proprioceptors. Think of these nerve endings as tiny sensors built into the tires of your car, constantly sending feedback to the central dashboard about the road surface, slope, and traction. As we age, if we always wear thick, heavy, stiff-soled shoes and walk only on perfectly flat indoor carpets, those sensors slowly go to sleep from lack of use. When you eventually step onto an uneven sidewalk, a patch of soft grass at the park, or a slippery step, those sleeping sensors react just a fraction of a second too slowly, resulting in a sudden wobble or a frightening near fall. Fortunately, reawakening these vital balance sensors does not require gym memberships or complex agility training. You can train them safely right at home while doing something you already do every single day, such as waiting for your morning coffee to brew or standing at the kitchen sink while washing dishes. The micro-habit is remarkably simple: practice standing on one foot for just 15 to 30 seconds at a time while holding lightly onto the edge of a sturdy kitchen counter with your fingertips. As you stand on your right leg, Feel how the tiny muscles in your foot and ankle make micro-adjustments to keep you upright. You are quite literally recalibrating your body's internal gyroscope and sharpening the communication lines between your ankles and your brain. Once that feels stable, you can try lifting just one finger off the counter, always keeping your hand an inch away for absolute safety. Practicing this simple exercise twice a day creates new neural pathways in your nervous system, drastically improving your stability when walking down steps, stepping off curbs, or navigating crowded aisles at the grocery store. It is a zero-cost investment in your physical independence that pays immediate dividends every time you take a step outdoors. While keeping your feet firmly planted on the ground is essential, maintaining a vibrant, energetic spirit throughout the afternoon requires us to examine how we fuel our bodies. Many retirees find that right around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, a heavy cloud of fatigue rolls in. It becomes tempting to sit back in the armchair, turn on the television, and accept that energy simply wanes with age. Often, the hidden culprit behind this afternoon slump is not age at all, but rather a subtle, widespread process known as cellular dehydration coupled with minor blood sugar swings. As the years pass, our body's natural thirst mechanism becomes less sensitive. You might not actually feel thirsty even when your cells are running dangerously low on fluid. When your cells lack adequate hydration, the metabolic powerhouses inside them known as mitochondria slow down their production of natural energy. If you add a sweet afternoon snack or a refined starch to the mix, your blood sugar spikes quickly and then crashes, leaving you feeling far more exhausted than you were before. To keep your energy steady and clear without relying on extra cups of coffee or sugary treats, try adopting the habit of energy pairing. Whenever you sit down for a meal or a snack, pair a large glass of fresh water with a source of healthy fat or protein rather than simple carbohydrates alone. For instance, instead of reaching for a plain cracker or a sweet biscuit, enjoy a small handful of walnuts, a spoonful of almond butter on an apple slice, or a hard-boiled egg. Think of simple carbohydrates as dry kindling tossed onto a campfire. They ignite quickly, create a sudden burst of heat, and then vanish into cold ash just as fast. Healthy fats and proteins, on the other hand, are like a solid hardwood log. They burn slowly, evenly, and provide a steady, comforting warmth that lasts for hours. By pairing proper fluid intake with slow-burning nutrition, you smooth out the mountain and valley spikes in your blood sugar. You will likely notice that your afternoon cloud lifts, giving you the sustained vitality needed to work in the garden, play a full round of golf, or comfortably keep up with energetic grandchildren through the late afternoon hours. As we move through the afternoon into the evening, another vital pillar of active longevity comes into focus, one that profoundly influences both your physical comfort and your emotional well-being, the health of your breathing and your nervous system. In our fast-paced world, many people unknowingly spend decades breathing through their mouths using shallow, rapid chest movements. When you take short, shallow breaths into the upper portion of your lungs, you send a continuous, subtle signal to your brain's alarm system that you are under stress. Your body responds by keeping your heart rate slightly elevated, tightening the muscles across your shoulders and neck, and releasing small, continuous trickles of stress hormones like cortisol into your bloodstream. Over time, this chronic low-grade tension acts like driving your car with the parking brake partially engaged. It burns extra energy unnecessarily, creates persistent tightness in your upper back, and leaves you feeling vaguely anxious or worn out without an obvious cause. You can instantly release this internal parking brake by adopting an ancient, scientifically proven breathing pattern known as extended exhalation breathing, or the 4-7-8 microhabit. You can practice this seated comfortably in your favorite chair. Inhale quietly and slowly through your nose for a count of 4, allowing your lower abdomen to expand gently like a soft balloon. Hold that breath gently for a count of 7, and then exhale smoothly through your mouth for a full count of 8, making a soft whoosh sound. The magic of this technique lies in the extended exhale. When your exhale is significantly longer than your inhale, it directly stimulates the vagus nerve, the main highway of your parasympathetic nervous system, which acts as your body's natural brake pedal. Within just 3 to 4 rounds of this breathing, your brain receives a clear, unmistakable message that you are completely safe. Your heart rate slows down smoothly, the tight muscles in your shoulders begin to melt away, and your blood pressure gently eases down. Practicing this simple technique whenever you feel a wave of worry, or just before dinner, restores a deep sense of calm, clears away physical tension, and helps your digestive system process your evening meal with ease. This brings us to a deep, often unspoken concern that weighs heavily on the minds of almost everyone over 60, preserving a sharp, clear, and reliable memory. We all have moments where we walk into a room and briefly forget why we walked in, or struggle for a second to recall the name of a distant acquaintance. It is entirely natural to feel a sudden pang of worry when this happens, wondering if it signals a deeper cognitive decline. However, neuroscientists have discovered that the human brain possesses a remarkable lifelong ability known as neuroplasticity. Your brain is not a static piece of hardware that slowly wears down. It functions much more like a living muscle that constantly reshaped itself based on how you use it. When you perform the exact same daily routines in the exact same order day after day, your brain operates on automatic pilot, using well-worn neural superhighways while letting the surrounding road network fall into disuse. To keep your mind agile, resilient, and sharp, you do not need complex computer games or expensive brain training subscriptions. What your brain truly craves is novel sensory engagement, what researchers refer to as neurobics. A wonderful, engaging micro-habit to introduce into your daily routine is the simple act of intentional novelty. Pick one familiar task each day and complete it using a slightly different sensory pathway. For instance, try brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand, taking a slightly different route on your afternoon neighborhood walk, or closing your eyes for 30 seconds while you button your sweater or fold a towel, relying entirely on your sense of touch. When you use your non-dominant hand or navigate a familiar space through touch alone, you force your brain to wake up, leave its automatic comfort zone, and rapidly construct brand new neural connections across different hemispheres. It is the exact mental equivalent of taking your brain off the highway and exploring new scenic backroads. This simple, joyful practice builds what doctors call cognitive reserve, creating a rich, adaptable network of brain cells that keeps your memory vivid, your focus sharp, and your problem-solving quick for decades to come. Now, as the day winds down and the evening quiet sets in, we arrive at what modern sleep researchers and gerontologists consider the most important, non-obvious piece of advice for long-term health and mental clarity. Many seniors struggle with fragmented sleep, waking up multiple times throughout the night, tossing and turning, and waking up feeling groggy and unrefreshed. The common response is to seek out over-the-counter sleep aids or heavy evening meals, but science has recently revealed a fascinating mechanism inside the brain that changes how we view sleep entirely. During your waking hours, your brain cells are constantly active, consuming energy and creating natural metabolic byproducts. Throughout the day, these metabolic byproducts accumulate in the spaces between your brain cells. While you are in deep, uninterrupted sleep, a specialized waste clearance system called the glymphatic system opens up. Think of it as a nightly sanitation crew that enters a large office building after hours, washing the floors, clearing out the trash cans, and preparing the workspace for a fresh start the next morning. If your sleep is constantly interrupted or if your body is busy digesting a heavy meal late at night, this critical brainwashing process is cut short, leaving you with that foggy, heavy feeling the next day. The powerful, non-obvious micro-habit that protects this nightly restoration process is establishing a strict 2-hour pre-sleep cooldown window. 2 hours before you plan to go to sleep, finish your last meal or heavy snack, turn off bright overhead lights, and put away glowing screens like smartphones, tablets, or bright televisions. Bright light, particularly the cool blue light emitted by modern electronic screens, tricks an ancient part of your brain into believing that it is still middle of the afternoon. This immediately shuts down the production of melatonin, the natural hormone that signals every cell in your body that it is time to rest and repair. Instead of watching the late-night news or scrolling through news feeds, transition into warm, dim lighting. Listen to soothing music, read a physical book, or spend a few quiet minutes engaging in the gentle 4-7-8 breathing we discussed earlier. Furthermore, keep your bedroom slightly cooler than the rest of the house. Your body temperature needs to drop by about 2 degrees Fahrenheit to initiate deep sleep smoothly. By creating this calm, cool, and dim evening runway, you signal your brain that the day is safely over. You allow your body to drift naturally into deep, restorative sleep, giving your brain's nightly sanitation crew the uninterrupted time it needs to clean, repair, and refresh your mind, so you can wake up every single morning feeling bright, clear, and truly ready to embrace the day ahead. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and stay with us. There are still many inspiring stories and useful ideas ahead.